on WCIA 3 News.
Buildings were broken into and the rooms were ransacked. How this is affecting other surrounding businesses. Plus, when a home and daycare burned down, the community came to help. We'll tell you what they did for the family who lived inside. And a man accused of killing his wife's son and another man was in court today. We'll tell you what happened.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 9 on X49.
I'm concerned about it. I mean, Ogden's pretty safe. We haven't had much trouble here.
Two buildings in Ogden were broken into Christmas night. Now other nearby businesses are wondering if they need to worry too. Good evening. I'm Jennifer Jensen. The Ogden Masonic Lodge and an accounting firm were broken into. The buildings are next to each other on East Avenue. WCIA 3's Andy Olson was in Ogden today. He joins us now in the newsroom. Andy, you spoke to some other business owners there. How is this affecting them?
Jennifer, the few that I spoke to say they've worried about this sort of thing before, but seeing it happen so close to them makes the concern that much more serious. The Ogden Lodge posted on their Facebook page pictures of the damage. Two doors were broken through and a safe was cracked open and left on its side. With all the mess, the lodge did say that nothing was ended up stolen. I spoke with the owner of Billy Bob's just down the street in Ogden. He says they've had a few issues in their 21-year run, but nothing very serious.
We've had probably 2 or 3 in this building. Nobody really got in. One time they stole some stuff. Other than that, just damage, breaking the door and the alarm went off, and the cameras kind of scare them.
Other business owners I talked with say, or another business owner I talked with says that he still thinks Ogden is a safe place. The last bit of crime that he remembers is the 2007 robbery at the Kirchner Building Center. The Champaign County Sheriff's Office is still investigating this. The lodge encouraged people on their Facebook page to come forward with any leads on the suspects. Live in the newsroom, Andy Olson, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
All right, Andy, thank you for that. A woman in Fisher is thanking everyone who helped her after her home and daycare burned down. It happened last November on Leichner Drive off Sangamon Street. Everyone, including 8 kids inside, made it out safely. And now her family is moving into their brand new house at the same spot. Mary Blythe says people donated money and new supplies for her daycare. They also formed a search party when one of her dogs ran away after the fire. She says the overwhelming support is something she could never repay.
After the fire, our insurance company gave us a check just for essentials, and I bought 6 toys. And by the time we reopened a week later, I had a house full of toys and cots and blankets and pillows. And
the cause of the fire was never officially ruled, but investigators say it was likely electrical. Blythe says she wants to invite everyone who helped her over for a dinner once they're all settled into their new home. An abandoned farmhouse in McLean County was destroyed by a fire this morning. It happened at a farm between Hudson and Carlock near Country Roads 2100 North and 1200 East. Firefighters from several departments and the McLean County Sheriff's Office were called to the scene. No word if anyone was hurt. We have an update for you tonight. A man accused of killing his wife's son and another man on Christmas morning is charged with 6 counts of murder. 53-year-old Clifford Brewer was arrested. He appeared in court in Livingston County this morning. It happened around 2 a.m. on East Jackson Street in Cullum. The coroner says he shot 51-year-old Norman Walker, 48-year-old Shirley Brewer, and 27-year-old Christian Brewer. Shirley is Brewer's wife and Christian is his son. Today, a judge set his bond at $5 million, and he'll be back in court next month. The state released one final report on the state's pension liabilities before the end of the year. The amount of unfunded liabilities for the state increased by $4 billion since last year. That brought it to a total of more than $137 billion, which is almost the same amount it increased over the prior year. This report only focuses on state-funded retirement systems, so they're not affected by the governor's pension consolidation plan. Marijuana will be legal in 5 days in Illinois starting on January 1st. Police are warning people who use it to be smart behind the wheel once the new law goes into effect. AAA did a study in Washington. The state was one of the first to legalize weed. They found that the percentage of drivers involved in deadly car crashes who recently used marijuana more than doubled from 2013 to 2014. It jumped from 8% to 17%. Now, Champaign police are stressing the dangers of driving under the influence.
One of the main things that those substances are going to affect first is the decision making and your ability to react quickly to things that are happening in front of you. It kind of dulls the senses.
Governor Pritzker has asked state police to come up with a marijuana DUI recommendation plan by July. Christmas was just a few days ago, but one city is ready to pick up your trees. Springfield says your tree needs to be curbside by 7 a.m. on January 6th for them to take it. Trees can be in the way of traffic, and if your tree isn't out by that date, you'll have to contact your garbage company to get rid of it. We have information on other cities' pickup dates on WCIA.com. New at 9 tonight, for those of you who gave or received gifts this holiday season, now it's cleanup time. It's important to know what can or cannot be recycled. First, wrapping paper can be recycled, but only specific types. If it has any kind of shine or coating to it, it can't be recycled. That's because glitter and plastics are contaminants in that process. On the other hand, cheaper, thinner wrapping papers are not recyclable because of how few actual paper fibers are inside them.
In general, typically most people prefer to say that no, wrapping paper is not recyclable because there's such a very small quantity that truly is usable, that you get so much more that's not, you end up having to throw it away.
Similar rules apply to gift bags. The ones with shine on them or the plastic shiny coating can be recycled, but the brown or plain white paper ones can be. Bows are not recyclable, and neither is tissue paper. But tissue paper is biodegradable, so it can be composted. In national news across the country, in Hawaii, we'll tell you about the search for the victims in a helicopter crash and what search crews discovered. That's coming up later in the show.
And it's weather quiz question time. Today's question, of course, only fitting. We asked something about the temperatures with December. What's the warmest day on record for the month of December? A, 70 degrees in 1948. B, 82 degrees in 1970. C, 64 degrees in 1940. Or D, 68 degrees in 1994. We'll see if Jennifer can answer this question right after this.
Watch Capital Connection, Sunday mornings at 10:30 on WCIA3.
Before it went through decades of design work, your mattress started with the most important detail of all, our name. Stearns & Foster, Uncover Exceptional.
Shop local. Visit us at family-owned Illini Mattress today.
The Viewers Club is coming to the news at 9 on X49. Starting this Monday, you'll have a chance to win $100. Watch for your Viewers Club card number. If you see your number, claim your prize. The Viewers Club on the news at 9, coming Monday on X49.
Have you ever seen that little dangling rope that hangs from your garage door? Well, some of you may not know what this is, but let's say this winter you get into a situation where there's an ice storm that causes you to lose power and your car is stuck in your garage. What you can do is you can pull this handle to manually release your garage door, allowing you to then open up your garage manually in case you don't have any power.
This WCIA3 winter weather tip is sponsored by Ashley Home Store.
Hi, I'm Mel Robbins, and as a best-selling author and host of The Mel Robbins Show, I've met so many inspiring women. Women who are leaders, teachers, mothers, and friends. Now, I want to know, who are the remarkable women in your life? Because we want to share their stories.
Nominate a remarkable woman from your community at WCIA.com, and she could win a trip to The Mel Robbins Show in New York City. Inman Place, recognizing remarkable women.
At Osling & Associates, we handle bankruptcy and only bankruptcy. When you need help, call Osling & Associates. There is only a $700 fee for single filing Chapter 7 bankruptcy. Bankruptcy questions? Visit our website at bcyhelp.com. An emergency bankruptcy can stop foreclosures, judgments, repossessions, utility shutoffs, and court proceedings. Call Osling & Associates with 20 Illinois offices to serve you. Call Osling & Associates now and stop the collection calls.
Now, Central Illinois' most accurate forecast with Amelia Henderson.
Well, for the final Friday of the decade, this warm trend continued throughout our day, not as warm as the past few days, but still warmer than the average, and that warm front is also going to continue over the next few days here. But as we continue later on tonight, high pressure is developing, so we are staying dry, but we are seeing some of these clouds develop on into the area for an overall cloudy night, but like I said, remaining dry, so enjoy these dry conditions while we have them. They won't be here too much longer. Temperatures right now into the 30s throughout our viewing area, 34 in Champaign, 37 in Lincoln, 33 in Bloomington, and the warm spot right now down south in Effingham at 38 degrees. As we continue the next 12 hours here, these temperatures really not dropping that much further. We're actually going to be on the rise into the early start of tomorrow morning, and for our Saturday, another spring-like day with these temperatures at 58 degrees. Maybe even a little bit warmer than that in some areas. But enjoy the dry conditions for the first half of the day. If you have any errands to run, I recommend doing it during the morning hours because active weather is going to be tracking into the area with this low pressure system developing. And while things are dry tonight, go outside and secure anything loose because these gusty winds from the southeast, 8 to 28 miles per hour throughout our Saturday. And it's going to continue for your Sunday as well. Similar trends to your Saturday. Going to start out the day dry overall before this next round of low pressure brings in more rain showers, and some flurries are expected on Monday, and that's all because of this cold front dropping these temperatures the next few days as we track into the early start of next week. The only day below average, though, is going to be on Tuesday, and then warmer conditions the rest of 2019 and into the start of 2020. Now, breaking things down a bit further here, this is 11:30 p.m., so the start of your Saturday is looking to be dry overall. Like I said, if you do have any errands to run, any outdoor plans, get it done during the first half of the day because we are going to be coming pretty widespread with all of these showers. And you can see this dark green here across the viewing area. That is also those heavy downpours we are going to be expecting. But just like our Saturday, we're going to start out Sunday with some drier conditions as well. You can just see this cloud cover across the viewing area, but then another round of low pressure is going to be moving on into the area. More showers, and then you can see this cold front moves in, and this blue here, that's these flurries moving on in for the start of your Monday. But tonight, we are still about 20 degrees above average, so enjoy the dry, warm conditions while we have them, because like I said, this weekend for your 7-day forecast, a little bit of some active weather, but much drier rest of the week ahead. All right, it's that time again. A weather quiz question. What's the warmest day on record for the month of December? So you got yesterday's question right.
I did.
We'll see if you can do it again. We talked about this.
We did. So, well, I was going, okay.
Let's see if my face
I have no idea.
She said B earlier.
Well, no. I thought B was down here. So I'm gonna go with this one.
Oh,
I'm gonna go with C.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're still wrong.
Oh, no.
It is A. 70 degrees in 1948 was the warmest day on record for December. I don't think we're going to hit that this year, but we still are seeing that warm trend.
I'm not surprised by that answer. I should have picked that one. Darn it. Next time.
You're close.
All right. Well, it's time for Share Your Day. We asked you to post pictures on Facebook sharing what you did today. So let's take a look at this first one. Isn't that sweet? It's a family celebrating a birthday.
Is that a cake?
I think so. I think it's a bunch of different cupcakes.
How cute. It looks like
a flower bouquet.
Flower. I love it. And the pretzel.
It's so creative. I don't know, but they really put a lot of effort
Bring it
into
in if you want. We'll
happy birthday.
Yes, happy birthday. All right, and enjoying the lights. Let's move our prompter up a little bit so I can read this.
Oh, no, this one's Shelby K.
Oh, Shelby K. Okay, here we go. Shelby K took her little boy to Chicago for the first time. Oh,
isn't that adorable?
With his little bear, probably a Build-A-Bear.
That's the view you want to see today. Yes. So pretty. All right, this next one, I had to throw this one in here because it was just such a pretty little picture with the candle and the Christmas tree in the background. I know it's past Christmas, but they're still enjoying those beautiful lights.
It's still the holiday season.
I remember we used to keep our tree up for, I don't know, at least a couple weeks past Christmas, just because it's so pretty.
It is so pretty, and it's a great holiday season, right?
All right, well, we'll have a look at your national headlines coming up next.
And as a best-selling author and host of The Mel Robbins Show, I've met so many inspiring women. Women who are leaders, teachers, mothers, and friends. Now, I want to know, who are the remarkable women in your life? Because we want to share their stories.
Nominate a remarkable woman from your community at WCIA.com, and she could win a trip to The Mel Robbins Show in New York City. In the Place, recognizing remarkable women.
Outer Apparel on WCIA3 News, provided by LL Bean.
With employee pricing for all, the greatest gifts aren't found in a store. They're out there, gift wrapped in snow. So what are you waiting for? Get out there and open them. Unwrap the world in a Jeep SUV with employee pricing for all. With employee pricing for all, purchase and get $6,171 below MSRP plus $1,000 bonus cash on the 2019 Jeep Cherokee Overland 4x4.
A fresh cracked egg, savory sausage, melty cheese, all in a toasty English muffin. Ugh. Yum. Wake up breakfast with McDonald's.
Enjoy a bacon, egg, and cheese McMuffin, a bacon, egg, and cheese bagel, or a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit, paired with a $1 any size soft drink.
It's the big grand opening at the new Shields in Rantoul. The lot is filled with hundreds of vehicles, all discounted and ready to drive home. Take 20% or more off MSRP on select Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs. Employee pricing continues on Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram. In addition, Shields is giving away a truckload of prizes in random drawings all month long. Hurry, the savings and prizes end December 31st. Stop in, see the dealership, register to win prizes at the big grand opening at Shields in Rantoul.
Fires during the winter are very common as people try to heat their homes. If you have a fireplace, before you start your first fire, make sure that your chimney and your fireplace are ready to go. Hiring a chimney sweep to do regular maintenance is recommended. Also, if you use a space heater, never leave it running unattended or while you're asleep.
This WCIA3 winter weather tip is sponsored by Steinmeier Roofing.
The news continues here on WCIA3, your local news leader.
Tonight in Hawaii, an intense search has led to a grim discovery after a helicopter crashed late last night. Since daybreak today, a massive search had concentrated on Waimea Canyon and the Napoli coast. Crews say they have found the wreckage of a sightseeing helicopter that disappeared over Kauai yesterday, with 7 people on board. Officials in Hawaii have confirmed that debris has been found in the rugged remote mountainside on the island. Now, it's feared that all 7 on board did not survive. The Coast Guard says the pilot radioed its position 45 minutes before it was due to land, but it didn't show up. 45 minutes later, the company reported the chopper missing. And at least 1 million people are expected to head to New York Times Square to bring in the new year. The city is getting ready for its biggest party of the year. Preparations are now underway. An army of NYPD federal and state officers will be on patrol, mostly in uniform, some in plain clothes, others with bomb-sniffing dogs. Everybody coming will be asked to go through security screening. Workers are putting the finishing touches on the 12-foot, 6-ton Waterford crystal ball that will descend at the stroke of midnight. This year, they're replacing 192 of the nearly 2,700 panels with specially themed Gift of Goodwill crystals. And today was WCIA3's Gift of Life blood drive. Coming up after the break, we'll share how your donations are making a difference in saving people's lives.
Here in Afghanistan with the 1st 1st Infantry. Just want to wish everyone back home a happy holidays, especially my mom, my dad, Marty, Matt, Jennifer, and Megan. Love you all, miss you, and I can't wait to see you.
I wanted to wish everyone back at home a happy holidays, a safe holidays, and I'll see you soon.
Wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year and be home soon.
Happy holidays from WCIA3, X49, and Carpenters Union Local 270.
The Viewers Club is coming to the news at 9 on X49. Starting this Monday, you'll have a chance to win $100. Watch for your Viewers Club card number. If you see your number, claim your prize. The Viewers Club on the news at 9, coming Monday on X49.
My partner was in a nursing home, came in one afternoon, he was laying dead on the floor.
For unexplained nursing home injuries, or even death, Mom-in-Law is there for you.
That's what I wanted, was that expertise. They were wonderful.
Call 888-MOM-IN-LAW.
One for trash bags? Come on. Hefty, hefty, hefty.
Hey, ladies, buy Hefty Ultra Strong at a low price.
Dada.
I wish.
Get Hefty Ultra Strong. Costs less than Glad Force Flex for sold head-to-head.
Yummy lip balm.
Yummy lip balm? My lips get so dry and cracked, I need serious relief. That's why I use O'Keeffe's Lip Repair.
It's all-day moisture in one use and is guaranteed relief for extremely dry, cracked lips.
Thanks to O'Keeffe's, I got my lips back.
When your loved one in a nursing home is suffering from an unexplained injury, you need answers. You need Malman Law. We'll discover the truth and fight for the compensation you deserve. Call 888-MALMAN-LAW for a free consultation. Malman Law.
At Champaign's Marketplace Mall, the holiday shopping rush continues, with some still buying, returning, or exchanging presents. But others are there to give a different kind of gift. WCIA 3's Jen Last shows us why people are donating the gift of life, blood.
From first-timers to years of contributions, hundreds of people turned out for WCIA's Gift of Life blood drive. Kevin Warner was the first donor in the door.
I know it's important. I've not needed blood before, but I know a lot of people that do.
He's attended the Gift of Life drive each year.
I watched Robert Reese and Dave Benton on WCIA for a long time, so I felt like this was something I could do.
Amy Poskin says she's here because she's young, healthy, and able to make a difference.
I have 3 siblings that work in the medical field, so hearing some of the stories that they have and the importance of donating blood, I just feel like it helps a lot of people.
Fred Newport is a retired teacher who wanted to lead by example and not just by textbook.
When I was encouraging students to get started, once they're started, then they tend to continue, and I certainly wasn't going to ask them to do that and not do it myself.
He's donated more than 40 times in the past 20 years, but says other donors, like our own Brett Behrens, inspire him. Brett began regularly donating after losing his leg in an accident and becoming the recipient of blood donations.
His ebullience is impressive and encouraging, so I smile even more when I watch him now.
Each person's donations can save 3 lives, a number that's not lost on Deb Cocaine.
Because it's so easy, why don't you donate?
And during the holidays, as donations traditionally dip, Cocaine says we shouldn't forget about this kind of gift.
Lots of things are needed. Blood is one of them.
In Champaign, Jen Lask, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
The final number of donations and sign-ups we had today was 290. A big thank you to everyone who participated in this Gift of Life blood drive. We want to encourage people to donate blood all year round. We'll have a look at your consumer news after the break.
Something is wrong with me. A Mel Robbins exclusive. Drastic plastic nightmares. He had 6 ribs removed. The deadly cost of botched surgeries.
I delivered her to the devil. Monday morning at 8 a.m. on X49.
News on WCIX is sponsored by the Housing Authority of Champaign County.
Jack those halls, trim those trees.
Hurry into Nissan's year-end event for your last chance to save big on Altima with available intelligent all-wheel drive. Get 0% financing for 60 months on the 2020 Rogue.
Hi, I'm Mel Robbins, and as a best-selling author and host of The Mel Robbins Show, I've met so many inspiring women. Women who are leaders, teachers, mothers, and friends. Now, I want to know, who are the remarkable women in your life? Because we want to share their stories.
Nominate a remarkable woman from your community at WCIA.com, and she could win a trip to the Mel Robbins Show in New York City. Inman Place, recognizing remarkable women.
Hi, I'm Steve Green. This is Capital Car Credit, where people come first. We believe our customers deserve to be treated like family. This means we work harder to offer you the best selection and value in late model, low mileage vehicles. Listen to what our customers are saying, and you will see why we say people come first at Capital Car Credit.
Go to Capital Car because right away they looked at my income and they based my payments on my income.
That they're nice people to work with.
Oh, they treat me good. They really did.
Capital Car Credit, 125 North Century Boulevard, Rantoul.
Hi, Van for heel-to-toe shoes downtown Urbana. Our winter clearance sale is on now. Up to 70% off select merchandise. Save big on all remaining Smart Wool. Hurry, it won't last long. Heel-to-toe downtown Urbana.
The Viewers Club is coming to the news at 9 on X49. Starting this Monday, you'll have a chance to win $100. Watch for your Viewers Club card number. If you see your number, claim your prize. The Viewers Club on the news at 9, coming Monday on X49.
Deck those halls, trim those trees, doing Christmas right this time.
Hurry into Nissan's year-end event for your last chance to save big on Altima with available intelligent all-wheel drive. Get $500 holiday bonus cash on select models.
This is WCIA 3 News, your local news leader.
Spotify is staying out of politics in 2020. The music streaming service announced Friday will no longer accept political ads in the new year. Spotify says it doesn't have the ability to, quote, responsibly validate the ads, end quote. The political ads will no longer play in its ad-supported tier for music streaming and in its original and exclusive podcasts. This does not include ads embedded within third-party content, for example, podcasts not owned by Spotify. The policy only affects its service in the U.S. because that's the only market where it sells political ads. We'll have a final check of your forecast coming up after this.
I'm Jim Hampton with Tapman's Towing. For 27 years, we provided the free ride home program on New Year's Eve. We'll continue to do it again this year. We want to remind you that you have a choice. Please don't drink and drive. Have a happy, safe New Year from all of us at Tapman's Towing.
At the Ram Big Finish event, we're giving the ultimate gift, employee pricing for all. So you can drive the only pickups that make the season shine brighter, carry more gifts, and bring the magic of the holidays to everyone in the back-to-back Motor Trend Truck of the Year. Get the gifts that have it all with employee pricing for all.
With employee pricing for all, purchase and get $9,833 in total values for 20% below MSRP on the 2019 Ram 1500.
My husband needed hearing aids, and he chose Beltone. So I thought, well, I'll give them a try, and I love them. Beltone ranks very high in service. They clean your hearing aids, and it's a monthly service, and anytime anything shows up, they take care of it. I don't think it could be any better. I'm very happy with Beltone.
Beltone, helping the world hear better.
It's the big grand opening at the new Shields at Rantoul. The lot is filled with hundreds of vehicles, all discounted and ready to drive home. Take 20% or more off MSRP on select Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs. Employee pricing continues on Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram. In addition, Shields is giving away a truckload of prizes in random drawings all month long. Hurry, the savings and prizes end December 31st. Stop in, see the dealership, register to win prizes at the big grand opening at Shields at Rantoul.
I'm Jim Hampton with Tapman's Towing. For 27 years, we provided the free ride home program on New Year's Eve. We'll continue to do it again this year. We want to remind you that you have a choice. Please don't drink and drive. Have a happy, safe New Year from all of us at Tapman's Towing.
Christmas might be over and all the presents are unwrapped, but this video is circulating from the internet from Lake Worth, Florida, and I had to show it to you. While most kids want electronics or Barbie dream houses for Christmas, for this 4-year-old girl, it's all about the simple pleasures. Paisley was elated to unwrap several bottles of yellow mustard on the holiday, and though it seems like that could have been a prank, this was her ultimate Christmas gift.
Hey, can't blame her. Mustard doesn't have any calories, so.
No, I'm here for it.
I can't blame it, right? All right, the warm front continues not only tonight, but into the weekend. Start of Saturday is going to be dry. Enjoy it while you can, because lots of active weather is going to continue the rest of the weekend.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us for the news at 9. We'll see you back here at 10.
Have a good night.